Namaste dosto! Welcome to That's a Thai Dish. My name is Reiko. So, do you know what season it is in Melbourne right now? Summer, yeah, that's right. But do you know what other kind of season it is? Mango season. It's hard to believe that it's only probably been a little over a year and a half or so since I actually tried fresh mango for the first time. And you know what? I fell in love. So anyway, I thought it would be a great opportunity, being that it's in season, to go ahead and make a mango chicken curry with, of course, its main ingredient, this guy, So, let's cue the music and get to cooking. Alright, so our first step is to make the marinade for our chicken. I'm going to take half an onion and cut it into a few pieces. Don't worry about it being too even because we're going to be blending it into a paste. Next up, we're going to need 2 large cloves of garlic, so I'm just going to break them off the bulb, cut the ends and remove the skin. No need to cut them, we'll add them into our processor. Now our spices. 1 teaspoon of chili flakes, 2 teaspoons of fennel seeds, and 1 teaspoon of red chili powder. Then close up the processor and blend it well. Being that the mixture is quite dry, you're not going to get a super thin kind of paste here, but that's quite alright. It's just for marinating. Now I'll get a medium-sized bowl for marinating our chicken. For this, I'm going to add half a cup of yogurt and the paste from the processor we just made. I'm going to take my tiny whisk and whisk it all together. So our marinade is ready, now we actually need something to marinate. So to help with that, I have about 600 grams of chicken thighs here. You could use chicken breast, but to be honest, having that extra fat content really helps to keep the chicken juicy when it's cooking for a long time. Here we're really just looking to remove any of the major deposits of fat, as well as any gristle. We want to cut the chicken into about 2.5 centimeter pieces. I found that this is the best size when you're wanting to be able to pick up the curry in roti. As I go, I'm throwing it into my marinade. And there's the last piece of chicken. I'll take a spoon and mix the marinade into the chicken. Do make sure that it's all well coated so those flavors penetrate. Now I'm going to cover the bowl with some plastic wrap and then stick it in the fridge. Alright, so the chicken is marinating in the fridge behind me. So we're going to leave it there for a minimum of 2 hours. I might leave it a little bit longer, we'll see. So we will check back in later on. I'll catch you then. Alright, and we're back. So the meat's been marinating for a total of 4 hours, so it should be plenty good and ready for the next stage of the cooking. Yeah, it doesn't look like much yet. Okay, so now we're going to prep the ingredients for the actual curry. So to start with, we're going to need 1 large red onion, which I'm going to finely dice. As I was doing this, I'm just thinking, how many times have you seen me cut an onion? Now onto the hot stuff. I've got 2 Thai green chilies here, which I'm going to finely chop. Do adjust as per your taste, but keep in mind that this does have a lot of cream in it, so it will downplay some of the spiciness. Our next aromatic is ginger. So I've got about a 4 centimeter knob here, which I'm going to start by removing the peel using a peeler, of course. Onto my grinding plate goes the now naked piece of ginger, and we're going to grind this until we get a nice paste. Our hari mirch or green chili can now make friends with the ginger. Yes, that's right, more garlic. In this case, about 4 cloves, which we're going to be mincing. This can also join the party with the ginger and the chilies. Now to prep the star of the show. That's right, it's mango time. I'll firstly slice off the 2 sides on either end of the very, very large seed in the middle. Then using a spoon, I'm going to carefully dig out the mango pulp from the skin. I then remove as much pulp as possible from around the seed. Then I'm going to dice it into small pieces. Our last prep step is to make some tomato puree. I find that it's quite expensive, and the easier way is to actually just use some tomato paste and water it down. This is about 2 teaspoons of tomato paste, and I'm going to then use my measuring cup here to fill up the right amount of water. So I'm filling up the water to a 1/3 of a cup and giving it all a real good stir until we get the desired consistency. And that's our prep work done, so cello, on to the cooking. So I'll begin by getting out my trusty saute pan. My cooking utensil for this dish will be this very, very old wooden spoon that I inherited from my grandmother. Alright, so let's strike a light, and we're going to set it to medium heat and then wait for the pan to get hot. Now that it's warmed through, let's add the oil, 2 tablespoons, and again we're going to let this get hot. I'm using canola. Now that the oil's hot, let's add our whole spices. 1 cinnamon stick, 2 bay leaves and 6 green cardamom pods. We only need to cook them for about 20 seconds. Now we'll add our ginger garlic chili combo. You only need to cook this for about 30 seconds or until it gets particularly aromatic and lightly browned. Now we'll toss in the onion. You want to cook this for about 5 to 6 minutes until it's nice and translucent. Now I'll add in my 1/3 of a cup of tomato puree. Mix it in well and we're going to cook this for a few minutes. Perfect, that masala's looking great. Now we'll add in our ground spices. 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, half a teaspoon of umchur or dry mango powder, half a teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Mix these in well and toast the spices for about 30 seconds. With our masala now beautifully darkened, it's time to add in our marinated chicken. Plop it in and give everyone a real good mix. We want our chicken to absorb all the lovely flavors that we've made in our masala. Keep the chicken moving with gentle stirring. We want to cook it for about 10 minutes or until the chicken is cooked through. Now let's get things creamy. So I'm going to add half a cup of thickened cream. And also invite to the saute pan our star performer, our chopped mango. As I always say, give it a real good mix. Once the curry has been brought to the boil, turn down the heat to low and we're going to simmer it for about 10 to 15 minutes. Do this uncovered as we want the cream to evaporate and thicken. Lastly, let's add in half a teaspoon of garam masala and as always, mix it in well. The curry is now beautifully thick and creamy, so why don't you have a closer look? Alright, the curry is now ready to serve, so I'm going to go ahead and plate it up by giving myself quite a generous spoonful. Make sure you also grab yourself some of that extra gravy. For presentation, I'm adding a little bit of extra cream on the top. A few pieces of the fresh mango that I kept aside. And some fresh coriander leaves, which got a bit stuck because of the mango juice. Oh, get off! Ah, there we go. Kane bakte! Alright, we're back and the cooking is done, so I present to you mango chicken. And it has an incredible aroma. I can smell the creaminess, the chicken, and the mango pretty much disintegrated in the gravy, but I'm sure it's going to add some really nice flavor. I also added some fresh mango on the top as well, so I can definitely smell that fresh mango too. Anyway, let's go ahead and give it a try, shall we? So I'm just going to grab off a piece of my homemade roti here. So this is my normal multigrain roti, which I still haven't actually done a recipe video for. Hopefully I'll get to that soon. Anyway, let's go ahead and give it a try. So I'm just going to grab up a nice piece here. The chicken is beautifully succulent. You get that creaminess and then also that sort of tart sweetness from the mango. Very good flavor combination for sure. It's divine. This is definitely one I'm going to be making again. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. And if you want to catch what dish I get up to next time, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, Dosto, and Fiamalenge. I'll catch you in the next one.